baseball time. It is today, day 2 today, as the #1 seed Totino-Grace Eagles take on the #5 seed, the Rebels of Champlin Park. Live here from Champlin Park High School, Charlie Beatty alongside Aaron Hedrick. And Aaron, it's always interesting when you get into this day 2. Nobody's season ends today, but you win it today, and your road is a lot easier.
Yeah, you always want to stay in the winner's bracket of all things, because loser's bracket you get into, you got to go deep into your pitching staff, and you just don't want to do that. So win this game, you're sitting in a really good spot.
And Totino-Grace coming in off a 4-1 win over Spring Lake Park yesterday. Champlin Park, 8-4 winners over Osseo, the only upset, theoretically, on that side of the bracket. The 5 seed beating the 4 seed. Here's the batting order. Cameron Hammonds leads it off in left. Carter Fox at second base bats second. Brady Higgins in right bats third. Tyler Gukeen, the catcher, batting cleanup. Tyler Nelson at first. Tanner Thompson, the DH. Tyler Hanson at short. Noah Christensen at third base. And Evan Hammonds out in center field. And they will match up against another Fox, Chad Fox, on the mound for the Totino-Grace Eagles. As you look at the defense, Eric Radicek, his battery mate. Quinn German at first. Evan Spivacek at second. Ben Palmer at short. Alex Stevens at third. Stephen Hand in left. Nick Stika in center. And Carter McLaughlin in right. And there you get a look at Chad Fox, the senior, and this team probably put its ace out there in Ben De La Forest yesterday for the win, but this is maybe pitcher 1A. He's had a great season, 3-1 this year, the ERA at 3.57.
Yeah, 35 innings pitched. He's definitely thrown the most, pretty much the most out of all the pitchers on the Grace staff there, and he's got 29 strikeouts to go with his 35 innings. So not a bad #2 pitcher to throw out in this game.
Yeah, and that's our guess, is that he's the #2 pitcher. This is a very deep and talented pitching staff. Big reason why this team is 16-5 here in the #1 seed in the section. Winner today plays at CHS Field in 2 days' time at 7 o'clock. The loser plays at 2 o'clock at CHS Field. They would have to go back into the loser's bracket. Again, double elimination format, so nobody's season ends after this one is over, but it's a big difference between having to go the hard way, as the first pitch from Fox is a strike to Cameron Hammonds. Hammonds on the year hitting .346. And he swings away at the second offering, skies it to right. McLaughlin drifting over towards the line for out #1. And a good start here for Chad Fox.
Yeah, always important. First pitch, strike. Next pitch, strike. Doing a good job trying to get ahead of these batters here. That's what you want to do if you're both pitchers. Get ahead, get them deep into the count, and then you can mix in your off-speed stuff and see if you can get some ground balls, get some strikeouts.
That'll bring up Cameron Fox, or Carter Fox, pardon me. And he takes a ball up high. 1 ball and no strikes. Carter only played 11 games this year, but he made the most of it, hitting .391. Drove in 5. And there's the pitch over at the knees. So 1 ball, 1 strike. One of the best averages on the team, though, in relatively limited action. And that one is down low. 2 balls and a strike to the second baseman wearing the #1, Carter Fox, from Chad Fox. That deserves a split screen. You got 2 guys, both Foxes, and Carter beats Chad this time as he rockets one into left field for a base hit. Champlin Park has its first base runner of the game.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there, too. Chad Fox is right around the strike zone, even on his misses, and he left that one up, and he just went with the pitch and hit a nice line drive through the hole.
That'll bring up Brady Higgins. Hit .317 on the season. 12 runs batted in. Nobody on this Champlin Park team does have a home run this year. A lot more power on the Totino side. But the offense there for both teams, and a first pitch swinging, and that one's hit straight up. And Ben Palmer calling off the outfielders behind second base for out #2.
Nice piece of defense there too. Those high pop-ups are always hard, and your outfielders are sprinting in. They're playing a little deeper there, so nice job by Palmer, taking control of that play and getting under it and making that play.
The one thing you and I were noting before the game is that this is a beautiful day for baseball. Almost no wind, so that makes that play slightly easier. Here's Gukeen, the catcher, and takes one up high. 1 ball, no strikes. .328 hitter on the year with 4 runs batted in. Champlin comes in at 8 and 11 on the season. 2 balls and no strikes. 7-game win streak for Totino-Grace, but Champlin Park did end a 6-game winning streak for Osseo yesterday, so unfazed here. These teams did meet once this year, back in early May, won by the Eagles. Another one hits straight up, and this one might land on Devry Foss if he's not careful. Near the Totino-Grace dugout, and a long run for Radicek, the catcher, to make the play. Excellent piece of defense to end the top half of the first. 1 hit for Champlin Park, but no runs. And the Eagles coming up next as we'll keep it here and show you the lineup for this Totino-Grace team as they come off after a scoreless first inning. And you get a good look there at Mike Smith, head coach. They've had a great year. Ben Palmer will lead it off at shortstop. Stephen Hand bats second. Alex Stevens batting third. Jack Eibensteiner's the DH today for the pitcher. He'll bat cleanup. Quinn German, the first baseman, batting fifth. You saw Eric Radicek make that nice play to win the top half of the first. He bats sixth. Nick Stika in center field bats seventh. Carter McLaughlin in right bats eighth. And Evan Spivacek, the second baseman, rounds out the lineup in the number 9 hole. And the Rebel defense, Tyler Gukeen behind the plate. Tyler Nelson at first. Carter Fox at second. Tyler Hanson at short. Noah Christensen at third. Cameron Hammonds in left. Evan Hammonds in center. And Brady Higgins in right. And the lefty on the mound in Jake Vandermeeden. Another senior here. Jake is 1-1 on the year, but a very good ERA at .217, 14 strikeouts in 19 innings pitched, only allowed 6 earned runs, did allow 13 runs. That is a common theme for high school baseball pitchers. You've got a lot of unearned runs on your resume, and for Champlin Park, it's been a bunch for all of their pitchers. They've had a little trouble defensively this year.
Yeah, and defense is going to be key here in this game and all the way through the rest of the section playoffs, so you got to find that tight defense. Vandermeeden, he's not a strikeout pitcher. He's got 14 and 19 innings, so he's gonna pitch to contact, and the defense is going to have to back him up.
The Rebels this year have allowed 89 runs through 19 games. 32 of them have been unearned. So here's Ben Palmer, leading this team in quite a few offensive categories. Batting average, home runs among them. He has 4 home runs this year. The rest of the team has 3 combined, and he's hitting .452. Not a bad guy to have as a table setter for the Eagles. Vandermeeden's first pitch is up and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
And it's even nice. You even kind of see it in the MLB nowadays. You get some pop out of your leadoff guy, and if he can put you on the board right away, why not? And
Palmer with a high fly ball into right field. This one is playable, and barely moving out there to make the play is Brady Higgins for out number 1. That'll bring up Stephen Hand. Another good average at the top of the lineup at .338 during the regular season for Hand. 0 for 3 yesterday in the win over Spring Lake Park. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Slow breaking ball bounces in front of the plate. Mentioned the teams did meet in early May. It was a 10-2 Totino-Grace win. That one's right down the middle.
You saw the first pitch off speed. It shows me he's, Vandermeeden's not afraid to throw that in any count, so the batters will have to be able to adjust.
Another high fly ball to right. This time a little bit more work for Brady Higgins, but still very comfortable for out number 2. So a couple good hitters put away on just a handful of pitches for Vandermeeden. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Alex Stevens. Stevens a .214 hitter during the season. And swings and misses at the first pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Playing third base today. Hitless in the ball game yesterday, but did score a run against Spring Lake Park. This one a hard shot to short. On a hop, playable there for Tyler Hanson across the diamond, and a very quick first inning for Jake Vandermeeden, and we are scoreless through 1 The Rebels coming back up in the top half of the second on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You will also have access to our large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find us, go to the App Store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, now available on Apple TV, coming soon to Roku.
Quick first inning between these two teams, and we move to the top half of the second inning. The Champlin Park Rebels on their home field, but the road team today is the lower seed. Charlie Beatty, Aaron Hedrick with you on CCX Sports on a beautiful day for baseball. Temperature in the low 70s. Very few clouds, nothing threatening, no wind. It's about as good as it gets in a spring that has been anything but, Aaron.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first just grand days that we've had for baseball all spring, and it's unfortunate it starts in section playoffs, but I think we're probably in for some good weather, and hopefully it lasts throughout the rest of the playoffs for all the teams playing.
Saw Mike Smith. There's the flag, and it doesn't even feel that windy right here as we sit just behind home plate. Tyler Nelson leads it off. He'll be followed by Tanner Thompson and Tyler Hanson. First pitch, ground ball to third, so they continue to move quickly. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Chad Fox here in the top half of the second inning.
You see it from both teams. They're out here attacking. That's the game plan. Get to the pitchers early, and they may have to adjust if the pitchers are going to be working this quick. But right now, that's the approach.
Now batting number 23, Tanner Thompson.
So here's the DH, Tanner Thompson. Pitch up around his eyes, and he swings and misses. Couple of 2-ball counts for Chad Fox in that top half of the first inning, but that's about as bad as it got. Did give up the base hit, but looked pretty comfortable out there. That one's inside. Thompson hit .265 this year, drove in 4. That one's up and away. 2 balls and a strike.
And haven't seen Chad Fox mix in too much off speed here, if any yet. So we'll see what he's got in terms of that. And you might have to mix some of that in if you got a breaking ball here. But he's, as long as his fastball is working for him, he's just going to stick with that. And Champlin Park has to get on that first.
3 balls and a strike now as that one hits the dirt. And that one's right down the middle. 11 walks this year and 35 1/3 innings pitched. Now 36 1/3 for Fox. And the 3-2. Got him on the inside corner. Called strike 3. And he battles back, does the senior pitcher, for out number 2.
A nice job of working back there. He just bumped the strike zone, and we'll see how tight this one was. Looks a little low, but that's a pretty good pitch you got to protect there.
First pitch foul back towards the truck by Tyler Hanson, the shortstop for Champlin Park. Hanson, one of the few guys this year for Champlin who appeared in every game. They don't have a lot of players who played in all 19. Bounces it foul toward the Champlin Park dugout. Quickly down 0-2 after a couple of fouls. Hit .254. There's Corey Davis. Led the Rebels to the 8-4 win over Osseo yesterday. And again, that Orioles team had been red hot over the second half of the season. Ground ball to third. Another play here for Stevens. And a 1-2-3 inning for Fox. And another quick half inning of baseball here from Champlin Park through an inning and a half on CCX Sports. We're still scoreless.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
It is the bottom half of the second. Feels like we just started, but these two pitchers moving very quickly. Chad Fox and Jake Vandermeeden. 1, 2, 3 innings in 2 of the 3 half innings so far. Just the 1-out single in the top half of the first for the Rebels. So good pitching here early, Aaron, and we'll see if that can continue throughout this game as the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Totino will come up in the bottom half of the second.
Yeah, the pitching's been phenomenal, and I think a little bit in the section playoffs. I've witnessed it. I've seen it. It seems like the batters get a little tight those first few games here, and I think that's a little bit of what's going on, but the pitchers are definitely doing a great job, too.
Jack Eibensteiner stepping in. Watches the first one over for a strike. It's part of that because you play all year long, you play every day, and then all of a sudden you realize it's not one and done, but those 2 and done can come pretty quickly. Chopper down to first, and that one takes a strange hop and goes right through the legs of the first baseman, Tyler Nelson.
Yeah, tough hop there, just kind of a weird play, and he kind of came up early on that, and it went through his legs, and an unfortunate break there for Champlin, and that's kind of what we talked about. And now you got to get some backup from your defense, try to roll double play up here.
See if that ball just stayed down on him when he thought it would come up. So that'll bring up Quinn German, the other first baseman. He takes a strike on the inside corner. Going back to what we were talking about with the 2 and done and how quick that can happen. And this time of year in both baseball and softball, it's pretty much known for some strange things happening in section play. Seeing it a lot this year already in softball. A lot of the top seeds are already out.
Yeah, you can't take anything for granted once you get into the section playoffs here, and
up and away.
You have to show up each day. Your pitchers have to show up. Your hitters got to show up, and anything can happen in baseball. That's that one day you might be off, and the other pitcher's on fire, and then you got to play your way back, and that's baseball for you.
Check down at first. Easily diving back is Eibensteiner. 2 balls and a strike. This is not a Totino-Grace team that runs very much. Nobody on the team with more than 3 stolen bases. Eibensteiner does not have any, but they're going to keep a close eye on him anyway.
And for a team that doesn't run that much to begin with, they're facing a lefty on the mound. Really going to keep them close.
Their slow breaking ball stays up and away. 3-1 with the catcher Eric Radicek waiting on deck.
So if you're Vandermeeden here, you just want to come back, pump strikes here, and get a ground ball because you don't want to put 2 runners on.
Just high, or was that called a strike? One of those pitches was called a strike. We may have misidentified one earlier in the at-bat. It's 3-2 now. That was certainly called a ball. Another toss over to first. It might have been the pitch in which they threw down to first base. I thought it was outside, but watching the action instead of the umpire. So here's a 3-2 pitch. And that one is knuckled towards second base, and they might have a chance at 2 here. The throw to first, dug out of the dirt for the double play. First of all, nice play by Carter Fox on the front end, and a pretty good dig by Nelson on the back end.
Yeah, nice play there. Just kind of a weak little blooper off the end of the bat there, and took him right towards the base there, able to step on it and throw to first. And that's your job as a pitcher, get that double play.
And a swing and maybe a foul tip by Radicek. Eric this year hitting .319. 10 runs batted in. And this one is golfed into the right center field gap, and that's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. And that double play looking pretty big right now as Radicek cruises into second base with a stand-up double.
Yeah, double play definitely big there. You're going to knock in at least 1 there, and if the batter were to reach and get on in that last at bat, then that's possibly 2 runs right there. And Nice piece of hitting, though. He stayed on that breaking ball and just took it to right center, and nice little double there.
Radicek in the dugout now with the courtesy runner on. As Nick Stika steps in. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And if you're Vandermeet in here, you did your job, you got that double play, then you gave up a double. Focus has got to be on the batter here. Get that last out. And that guy at second won't mean anything.
2 balls and no strikes to Stika. It's Andrew Christofferson, who is the courtesy runner there, number 26. Junior outfielder by trade. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the inside corner, 2-1.
That pitch a little high, but got called a strike. Help Vandermeet out here. He'll take it.
Seen that pitch maybe twice now, called a strike both times, so the hitters maybe know what to expect now. This one down to first. That'll get through into right field. They're going to wave Christofferson home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is up the line, and it's off the glove of the catcher. And down to second base goes Stika with an RBI single. Hard running home. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Just aggressive coaching, aggressive base running there. I like to see that early here. You know, just a weak ground ball, and outfielder comes up throwing. Good solid defense there. Just the throw was just a little high. Probably would have had him.
Keane trying to make that quick snap, grab, and tag almost all in one motion, and tipped off the glove. Didn't cost them any bases because Stika was going to second base anyway. A sky-high pop-up on the first pitch off the bat of Carter McLaughlin, and a little bit adventurous out there in the outfield, but Tyler Hanson hauls it in. The Eagles strike first on the RBI single by the center fielder Nick Stika, and after 2, they lead it 1-0 here on CCX.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
1-0 Eagles after 2 as they strike in the bottom half of the second inning, and Chad Fox out there on the mound. Staked to a lead for the first time today for this top-seeded Totino-Grace team. Champlin Park this year and has not been a high-scoring group throughout the course of the year. Not necessarily a big offense. Get the sense that they're not the kind of team that wants to play from behind too much. Obviously just 1 run now, but you've got to strike back.
Right, 1 run, not a big deal, but you don't want to let it snowball. And if you can get back another run here and just get it tied, or even get a couple of runs here, that's big for your confidence. That's big for your pitcher. Then you know you're kind of back to that even playing field again. But again, 1 run, not a big deal. Just don't let it snowball and try to get base runners on base. And we talked about in high school baseball, anything can happen, errors can happen. So get on base, do a job, see what you can do.
First pitch up high to Noah Christensen. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Champlin Park here in the 3rd inning. Evan Hammonds, Cameron Hammonds will be the other scheduled hitters against Fox. And there's a line drive into shallow left center field. Actually, that one's running pretty well. Stika with a diving play. It goes off his wrist. He'll hustle it back into the infield, but that should be a double to lead things off for Christensen. And when you're looking for a response, that's not a bad way to start.
Yeah, good piece of hitting here, and a nice play here. Nice try, and it looked like it hit the heel of his glove. Probably had a play on it, but either way, that's a tough play. It hits the heel. Unfortunate break there for Totino, but nice piece of hitting by the Rebels there. They know that Fox is pumping the strike zone with fastball, so attack early and get that one down the middle.
I wonder if the sun came into play there, because rarely do you see a guy dive and actually overdo it. Runner going, they're trying to bunt him down to third, and the throw is going to be not in time. Ooh. Eric Radicek is appealing to the home plate umpire for an extra look at it, but it's not his call. That's a stolen base.
And looking straight down the line, I'm not even sure he reached the base there. It looked like the defender's foot was in front of the base.
It is a stolen base, but you're right. It did look like that base was blocked. Here's another angle on it. Throw certainly beats him. Tag wasn't necessarily flush on the body, but it certainly looked like it got there. And this one tomahawked into left center field, and that'll tie the game. So they take advantage, Champlin Park, of maybe a fortunate call. And now hustling back to the bag at first is Evan Hammonds. He took a huge turn around and actually lost his footing, but he comes up with an RBI single, and it's a 1-1 game.
That's a good piece of hitting. You're an ideal pitch to swing at there, but he got the job done, hit a line drive. If he likes the ball up, that's what he's looking for. Go ahead, I guess, and hack away. And you like to see the aggressive base turn there. You try to force a throw and see if the outfielder bobbles that you can take an extra base. Almost burnt him by falling down there, but he got back okay.
So from one Hammonds to another, Evan upward, and here's Cameron Hammonds. Diving back is Evan. Champlin Park is a team that stole a lot of bases this year, and the two Hammonds were the main culprits. Evan stole 7 on 11 tries. Cameron stole 7 on 7 tries, and that pitch up and in.
You had a throw down there, too. That bunt play, it's always important as a runner. You want to be able to get a good secondary lead, but you don't want to get too far off the base. You want to make sure he gets the bunt down.
Pulling the bunt back and trying to slash his way on there is Cameron Hammonds, and swings and misses. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out, a runner on, and already a runner in here for Champlin Park, so they get the response they wanted. This time, it did look like he was trying to lay down the bunt, pulled it back to take the ball outside. So all sorts of strategy going on right now here for the Rebels. Team that is much more likely of these two to play small ball. And they'll check on the runner at first. Evan diving back in. Quinn German, the first baseman over there for Totino-Grace. And the bunt is on. Bunted into the net. So 2-2, and that'll come back off again, you would think.
You would think. I like the idea of trying to bunt over here. You got a quick guy at the plate, quick guy on base, put some pressure on the defense. But yeah, with 2 strikes, you see some coaches keep it on, but not likely here.
Not on. The pitch is high. They're going to try and straight steal second base, and clearly in safely that time with his 8th of the year is Evan Hammonds. So second stolen base of the inning. The first one, I'm not sure they were going for the straight steal. This one they certainly were. And they get him to second base one way or another.
And a nice jump there, and not an ideal pitch to try to throw a runner out on, a little high, kind of out of the way of the catcher there.
Yeah, big difference between up and in and up and away. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Fox. Both of them called third strikes, and that's a big first out of the inning for him.
Take another look at it. Right there, it kind of paints that outside corner. Nice pitch, good spot there.
Still looks like he's relying almost exclusively on fastballs. Maybe saw 1 breaking ball in that at bat. So Carter Fox, who singled into left in his first at bat, takes 1 inside. 1 ball and no strikes. And that was an off-speed pitch.
That looked like, one of the first decent breaking balls he's thrown, and doesn't break a whole lot, but it breaks enough to, get the batters off balance. So
bouncer down to third. Nice backhand scoop over there by Stevens, and he throws him out. That was a tough play for out number 2.
Those backhand plays over at third base are always a little tricky, and you get that kind of short hop there, and a nice job of just getting in position, keeping that glove down, and going with the ball there.
Maybe saved a run right there as Higgins steps in with 2 outs now and a runner at second base. Higgins popped out on a nice play by Radicek, or pardon me, he popped out to short in the first inning. Fouls one away here. Evan Hammond still waiting off second base. There's another good off-speed pitch. 0-2, second time through the batting order, starting to see it more. So that tells me this is a pre-planned strategy for Totino-Grace.
Yeah, definitely good mix. You don't. If I'm Champlin, I was keying in on that fastball. Now you can't do that anymore.
Time called at the plate. Higgins, a .317 hitter, mentioned, led the team with 12 RBIs coming in. Looking for number 13 and golfs one off his shoe tops here, just foul up the first base line. Tyler Gukeen, the catcher, on deck, waiting for a chance. Rebels ended the regular season on a 2-game losing streak. That followed their longest winning streak of the year, 4 games, and there's a foul tip at the plate. They didn't start the year very well. Won only one of their first 5. That was over Elk River. A lot of close victories for them. Close ball games in general, really early in the year. Trying to get hot here in section play, and that's a close pitch, 1-2.
And playing in those close games, I think, will help them in this spot. You usually see a lot of tight games come section playoffs. The pitching is usually pretty spectacular and pretty up there. So,
in the dirt, swung on and missed. Radicek will throw down to first, and the inning is over on the 3rd strikeout of the game for Chad Fox. But the Rebels get one back, and after 2.5 for Champlin Park High School, we're tied at 1 on CCX Sports.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
One after 2.5 as the Eagles got one in the bottom of the second. Rebels getting it right back in the top half of the third. It'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters for the Eagles here in the bottom half of the third inning. Evan Spivacek, Ben Palmer, Stephen Hand against the lefty Jake Vandermeeden. Interesting ball game here so far. We talked about the pitching quite a bit coming into this, Aaron, but the hitting's been pretty good through these first handful of innings. We've seen a lot of solid swings. Some aggressive base running on both sides as well.
Batting number 5, Evan Spivacek.
Well, Spivacek will lead it off. Last man to get his first at bat in this game, hitting .333 out of the 9-hole. And takes one down low from Vandermeeden. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, there's not a lot of holes in this Totino-Grace lineup, and they piled up the runs this year. You look at these two teams on paper, and you might see a mismatch, 16-5 versus 8-11, a team that has struggled defensively this year and hasn't scored a lot of runs in Champlin Park against a team that's pretty tight defensively and has scored a lot of runs. There's a hard shot and a base hit. Spivacek leads it off with a single, but Champlin Park playing it even here through 2.5. And again, we talked about it last inning. You get to section play, and you just see what happens.
Yeah, anything can happen. These guys are conference opponents, you know, so they're familiar with each other. As you see, nice piece of hitting there, hard ground ball, tough play. Nice little single there.
So that'll bring up Palmer. Not a guy you want to see at the plate with men on base. And he takes the ball. Flew out to right in his first at bat. Mentioned the 4 home runs this year, one of which did come in the win over Champlin Park. And the 1-0 pitch. That one's a hard shot back up the middle. So back-to-back singles to start the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and Totino-Grace in business. That'll bring up Hand.
Nice piece of hitting there for Palmer, too. I mean, you saw him get a little bit out of his probably normal swing in that first inning with the fly out to right, but stayed on this ball and just nice level swing approach, trying to go up the middle, and nice approach, nice swing, nice hit. Totino in a good spot here.
See what they do with Hand. Did lead the team with 5 sacrifices this year. And looks like he's going to try to lay one down. Does bunt it to the left side, and nobody's going to be able to make a play there. And some maybe miscommunication. Vandermeeden came off the mound, but it looked like the 3rd baseman, Christensen, went to the bag.
You could see right there, that's just perfect work, getting the bunt down. Not necessarily looking for a base hit there, but you can see why he leads the team in sacrifices.
So big chance here for Alex Stevens. Made a nice defensive play in the top half of the inning. He could bust it open with a base hit here, and he takes a curveball for a strike.
You know, I like that pitch there. You don't want to put him right down the middle and let him rip a double that scores 2 or 3 runs there. So get a first pitch breaking ball over first strike and see what you can do from there.
Pops it up. That one looks like it'll get out of play near the Totino-Grace dugout, and it will. Good crowd on hand here. Of course, this is a doubleheader. After this will be the 2nd game on the winner's side of things. Centennial and Mounds View, the 3 seed against the 2 seed. Pretty clear-cut number 1 seed based on the regular season. Totino-Grace here in Section 5. The 0-2 pitch served into center field and deep. Back goes Hammonds, and he will make the catch on the warning track. And there will only be 1 tag, but it will be the runner scoring from 3rd as Vivacek comes home. Sacrifice fly for Stevens and an RBI.
A nice piece of hitting there, too. Just ripped a nice line drive. It kind of kept carrying, just carrying. Runners on 1st and 2nd thought might get over the head, so they were off the base a little bit, not tagging up to see if they could get an extra base in case it did fall. But runner on 3rd, back to the base immediately. You tag up on those, and a nice job to Tino with the lead once again.
Here's Eibensteiner, who reached on an error last inning, was erased on a double play. Takes curveball for a strike. 14 RBIs for the cleanup hitter. Second only to Palmer on the year. Another curveball, that one stays inside. Well, if you're Vandermeeden, and if you can get the next 2 outs to get out of this, I think you'd take that. Bases loaded, nobody out. If you can hold them to 1, especially early in the ball game, that's a victory. Just outside.
Yeah, the goal as a pitcher here, try to get a ground ball, see if you can get another double play here, or just looking to get another one, but a ground ball would be a nice outcome here.
Big swing by Eibensteiner, back out onto the street. 2-2. Vandermeeden this year struck out 14 in his 19 innings pitched, so it's not a huge part of his arsenal, but it's certainly there. Does not have a strikeout today. Ground ball back to 1st, another one kicked. And that one is going to send Palmer around 3rd. They're going to score the run. Hand moves to 3rd. And another tough play over at 1st base for Tyler Nelson, went right off his foot, and it cost Champlin Park a run.
Another hard hit, good swing. If you're Totino, doing your job here, you're taking a hard swing, you're putting the ball in play, and Tough play there, and just a weird bounce off the first baseman's foot. Allowed that runner to get in.
They don't have the scoreboard here to tell us if it was a hit or an error. That's a really tough in-between call. Say a harsh error to give him.
That's a tough play either way.
Foul tip at the plate by Quinn German. No balls and 1 strike, so it's a single and an RBI unofficially here for Eibensteiner, but that's what we're going to give him. And it is 3-1 in favor of the Eagles. Check on the runner over at first. Again, Eibensteiner's probably drawn more throws over at first today than anybody else who's been on the base paths. And he doesn't have a stolen base this year. 0-1 pitch, grounded to third. That one took a strange hop. They will get the out at second. They will not get the out at first, and another run will score. Well, that one probably would have been a much more straightforward play, but it took a really strange hop on Christensen. He made a nice adjustment just to make the play at all.
It looked like it took a weird hop right away in the grass and then kind of had some weird spin, and just it's a tough play there, but a nice job of getting at least one out there. That's pretty much all you can do in that situation. But another run knocked in, and Totino doing the job here.
So 4-1 the score, and there's a ball up and into Radicek. 7th man to come to the plate this inning for the Eagles. Right down the middle, 1-1. Eric doubled and scored last inning. Hard shot to the right center field gap. Late on that one, 1-2. One-two pitch on the way from the lefty Vandermeeden, trying to get out of this inning. And there's a called strike 3 on the outside corner, his first strikeout, but the damage done for the Eagles as they score 3 on some strange hops. And they take advantage, and after 3, it's the top seed 4 in Champlin Park 1 on CCX.
Hey! There are amazing things to discover in the forest.
Toothless, time to go! What you picking up on, bud?
It's a whole hidden world of wonders. And the perfect place to spend time with family. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
4-1 Eagles after a big bottom half of the third. They plate 3, 6 hits for them. And the upper hand here to the top seed in this winner's bracket game. And speaking of the bracket, here it is. See the game coming up tonight. This is just the winner's half, of course. Everybody not pictured in that second line is playing today over at Osseo with a chance to keep themselves in the tournament. And you see the future dates. Next one will be May 31st for everybody. And the semifinals are on June the 3rd. Section final on June the 5th at CHS Field. And of course, these teams are playing for the right to keep playing at CHS Field, where the state tournament games will be, at least through the first couple rounds in the state tournament. Championship game at Target Field on June the 20th.
And those games at CHS are always fun. You get in a little bigger park, professional environment, and that's a fun time.
Hard one hopper to Palmer. And the shortstop makes a smooth play to retire Tyler Gukeen. 1 pitch, 1 out for Fox here with a 3-run lead. And it seems like, maybe this is just me, but it seems like since they started playing at CHS Field, there have been an abnormal amount of just crazy, entertaining games over there in the 4A bracket. Yeah. A lot of 1-run games last year. There was what was the marathon game? Was it Wayzata and Lakeville North a few years ago? Another first pitch swing, right to Palmer. And a carbon copy for out number 2 as he retires Tyler Nelson. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Chad Fox. And Tanner Thompson, the DH, is going to go up there, and I would imagine he is not going to swing at that first one.
He probably shouldn't. That would be, you know, as a coach, you hate to see 2 pitches, 2 outs there, so you definitely should be telling your guy, take a pitch here, and it's unfortunate. You get one right down the middle. Yeah, and that's typically what happens there, and, you know, you have to buy in if you're the hitter there and know what the guys did ahead of you, and now you got to attack.
And a check swing on a breaking ball, and it's quickly 0-2. So Fox trying to get out of this inning on 5 pitches as you see some activity for Champlin Park out in the bullpen. That's Vincent Lamberty, the senior, just starting to get loose. The 0-2 up high.
I like that pitch there, too. He had him 0-2, tried to go high, make him chase. Did it again here. Now maybe you drop a breaking ball on him.
Certainly had a couple to play with after the quick retirees of the first 2 hitters.
Yeah, and I would come back, breaking ball, try to get him off balance here. And nice job by camera guy Preston getting out of the way of that one.
That's job 1 if you're up on the dugout. Self-preservation. If you get a good shot, that's just a bonus. And the 2-2 in the air, right side. Drifting out is Spivacek. McLaughlin in. He'll make the play in a 1-2-3 relatively quick inning for Chad Fox. Nice way to pitch when you've just taken the lead, and we are halfway home here in this section playoff game. It is Totino-Grace 4, Champlin Park 1 on CCX. Charlie Beatty, Aaron Hedrick back with you here at Champlin Park, where the Totino-Grace Eagles, the top seed, lead at 4-1. And Aaron, we just witnessed a 3-run inning for Totino-Grace, followed by a lightning-quick inning for Champlin Park. If you're Jake Vandermeer, you just had a long, tough inning to deal with. Now you're right back out on the mound. How does that affect a pitcher mentally?
Yeah, it's tough. You're kind of disappointed that you gave up those 3 runs, and you're hoping your hitters can go back you up, give you a couple more, tie it up, or at least give you a couple there, and they went bang, 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 you know, real quick, and now you're like, oh man, I got to go back out there and I got to shut them down again, and it's not ideal, and you just got to step up and shut them down here.
First pitch swinging for Nick Stika, and that one is down the right field line. It'll be out of reach of everybody. Stika drove in the first run of the game with an RBI single to center field back in the 2nd inning.
If you're Vandermeeden too, you got to realize, you know, it's still a 3-run game. That's not insurmountable. Just go out, pitch to contact like you've been doing all year, get some outs.
Knocks this one down, and he will make the play to first for out number 1. Is facing the bottom of the order, which is a nice bonus in theory, but it's the bottom of the Totino-Grace order, right, which is pretty good.
Yeah, you hear 7, 8, 9, and you go, okay, I can maybe coast, get away with throwing more fastballs here. But with Totino, you gotta attack per normal.
There's McLaughlin, and he serves one into right center field. Drops down for a single. He's going to take a big turn, second base, and he is safe. Oof. Maybe a little casual out there in the outfield for Higgins and Hammonds, and McLaughlin recognized that, and he takes the extra bag.
And I thought that had single written all over it, and a nice job. He was running pretty hard out of the box and kind of decided, they're not going super hard at it, so I'm gonna try to stretch it into a double, and sure enough.
Another close play on the base paths, by the way, goes the runner's way. And there's a strike to Spivacek.
And kind of funny there, McLaughlin was asking for time, but from the umpire, and the umpire wasn't giving it to him, so he kind of got quick pitched and was still able to lace a nice little line drive hit there.
Other thing I noticed is when he was running to first, he didn't really round the bag like you're taught to. He kind of ran straight to first and then took off for second, and he still got there.
Which tells you he didn't think it was a double out of the box, but he did a nice job of recognizing what the defense was doing.
1-1 pitch, and it's up and away. Spivacek started all the trouble for the Eagles in the third inning, leading it off with a single. Vanderbeek with a base runner to deal with again. That one's off his leg, and another crazy bounce. Recovered quickly at shortstop by Tyler Hanson to keep it from the outfield. That's 2 balls in this inning now that have hit Vandermeeden. And that's a single on the infield again.
And a tough play there. I mean, you don't expect the pitcher to make that play, and you hope he's okay, and it looks like coach is going to come out and check on him, because it did look like it went off his ankle or his leg there, and those can be tough and get you a little contusion, or probably nothing more than just a bruise, but you got to check on him, make sure he's all right.
And it looks like they're actually going to take him out of the game here with Lamberty warming up in earnest. As you see that last one, not much he can do about that. And a good recovery by Hanson to keep the run from scoring. So it will be Vincent Lamberty coming in for Champlin Park, and he comes in with 1 out, runners at the corners here in the bottom of the 4th. A big spot to come in relief in the section playoffs. We will step aside, come back, and continue this inning with the Eagles leading by 3 on CCX Sports.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? You don't know my name.
And welcome back here on CCX Sports, as you see the senior Vincent Lamberty right-hander taking over, and he is a familiar face to Champlin Park fans. He pitched more innings than anybody else on the staff this year. 35 2/3 innings pitched coming in, an ERA of 4.31, and he was 1-4 on the season, and in there to try to stem the tide against this Totino-Grace Eagle offense.
And if you're going to make the change here, this is a good spot to do it at the top of the lineup. Ben Palmer's leading off against the new pitcher here. He saw Vandermeeden a couple times already. He had a nice line drive single in his last at-bat. So good time to kind of switch up the angle, switch up the look on him. He's got a righty now. He's going to be throwing a little different arm angle for sure than the lefty. So good spot to do it in if you're going to do it. And tough spot to come in, though. You got runners on first and third. You have to be aware of that. And a good hitter up at the plate.
One thing Lamberty has going for him, he is very much a strikeout pitcher. 34 in 35 2/3 innings pitched. Did walk 21 batters. This is his 13th appearance of the year. Nobody else on the staff has more than 8. Made 5 starts. And again, you said it, he's going straight to the top shelf as he comes into the game facing Palmer, who has a chance to really break it open. And they're going to try and bunt, and the pitch goes to the backstop, and the run will score without Palmer even having to swing the bat. Hustling home is McLaughlin on the wild pitch. And down to second base goes Spivacek. So not the introduction you're looking for if you're Lamberty. Now it's 5-1, and here's that pitch again.
Not an ideal start there, and not sure if Palmer was even trying to bunt. He might have just been trying to kind of throw him off there with the fake there, and it sure did.
Certainly not bunting now as he takes a strike. Runner in scoring position again, still only one out. Breaking ball, that catches the inside corner, 1-2.
That breaking ball had some nice movement on it. Good spot inside, kind of jam him up. Not an ideal pitch that you want to swing at there if you're Palmer.
Palmer, not an easy guy to strike out, just 6 times in 62 at-bats all year. And he got him. Ooh. Called strike 3, so Lamberty gets the out. The run does score, though, on the wild pitch.
And I like coming back with the breaking ball, and it was a good pitch there. It was a good pitch in that count. Not sure it crossed over in the strike zone, but and you see Palmer, he didn't think it was a strike. He didn't like the call, but that's baseball.
Crowd didn't like it either, the Totino-Grace crowd, as there's a strike to hand, but I think what they might have been reacting to is where the catcher Gukin caught it and the glove was almost down in the dirt. But that's all part of that motion of the breaking ball. There's one on the outside corner. Lamberty, give him credit. He threw the wild pitch on the first pitch, but he's come back attacking since then. Runner still at second base. Spivacek bluffing his way down the line and just off the plate, 1-2.
That was a close pitch there. It came back with another fastball. Good spot. 0-2 count. And if you're hand here, you kind of gotta sit on another fastball and react to the breaking ball.
1-2 pitch. There is the breaking ball. Bouncer to third, and another one that skips up the glove of Noah Christensen. And it'll be runners at the corners. That one will go down as an error. Looked like he just got caught in between on the hops.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. Based on where he was playing, he didn't really have a chance to back up and wait for it to take that next hop, and he didn't have much time to get up and get it before it short hopped him, so tough play.
So Stevens swinging on the first pitch. He drills it to deep left center field, but that is playable out there for Evan Hammonds to end the inning. The Eagles add one more, and after 4 innings of play, they lead it 5-1. Rebels with their work cut out for them coming up in the top half of the 5th on CCX Sports.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
That kind of day at the ballpark. You actually want to come out and you want to bring your pets. You want to be here on a day like today, 70+ degrees. And from a very good looking dog to 2 very average looking guys. As we have good seats right here behind the fence. Not bad. And you went from truck work one day and now here you are on camera. The jack of all trades.
I know, yeah, they got me moving all over the place.
They don't trust me with any buttons, and that's good. That's a wise choice. It'll be the bottom third of the order for Champlin Park. You know what that's like. It's, I would imagine it not very.
That's where all the buttons are.
Not very cool in there on a day like today. How's the air conditioning inside the truck?
Not ideal. not in the hot summer months.
First pitch inside to Tyler Hanson, who grounded out to third in his first at bat. Remember, Fox's last inning was lightning quick. He threw only 8 pitches. Actually, only 7 pitches. And that one called a strike. That low strike has really been there for both pitchers. That one looked very low.
But now you know as a batter, you saw it. You just saw it in the last half inning. You just saw it now. So you got to protect, especially with 2 strikes. That's a pitch it's not an ideal pitch to swing at, so it's something you got to foul off or see if you can kind of dink the other way. But you got to protect.
2-1 pitch, grounded to third. Another nice pickup there by Alex Stevens, who throws him out.
A nice play there, too. Those balls always have a potential to kind of take a weird hop up on you, and he did a nice job of staying down, not worried about it, not overthinking it. Nice job of just kind of going with that ball as it kind of came up. He went up with it, and he's done a nice job over there. Had a couple plays and putting in work.
Now here's Christensen, doubled in his first at bat, ducks out of the way of that one. He has scored the only Champlin Park run today. Doubled and stole third controversially. This one, the hard shot, and Stevens will just pick it out of the air. I think the Rebels might want to try another spot because Stevens has third base pretty much locked down.
Another good reaction play. Those are always tough. You don't have a lot of time to react, and he did a nice job, and that ball kind of was diving on him too, and did a nice job sticking with it. A nice guy to have over there on the hot corner.
He's got the great baseball hair also. He's got some good lettuce just hanging out the back of that hat. The mullet is on its way back in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
It's not too hot this spring because it hasn't been that hot.
There's a strike to Evan Hammonds. He drove in the only Champlin Park run. Running out of outs already in this one are the Rebels here as we're already in the 5th. There's another low strike, and it's 0-2. Again, these hitters, they don't like that call, but they've seen it a number of times now. And the umpires had a big zone today, but it's a consistent zone, and that's all you really can ask for.
And if you don't have 2 strikes on you, you let that pitch go anyways like you did there. You just kind of, you gotta leave it, and just, if he's going to call it a strike, he's going to call a strike. Get a better one the next pitch, or get a better one before that.
1-2, and this one fouled away.
It did a good job with that breaking ball too. 2 strikes. Again, kind of a high outside breaking ball. Push that the other way to try to get a nice bloop single, or you foul it off and try to get a better pitch.
Popped up, foul back over our heads.
That was the better pitch that he was waiting for and just missed it.
Rebels looking for a 2-out spark here. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Chad Fox. Lanky right-hander kicks and fires, and another high pitch popped up foul. This one playable, actually might be in fair territory. Long run over there, and a good catch on the play by Spivacek. So a 1-2-3 inning and some great defense behind Chad Fox, and we have played 4.5, and is 5-1 Totino-Grace on CCX Sports.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Swiftly moving game here in the Section 5 4A playoffs on the winner's bracket. Champlin Park trailing by 4, and they will send Vincent Lamberty out to the mound to take on Jack Eibensteiner, Quinn German, Eric Radicek here in the bottom half of the 5th. Charlie Beatty, Aaron Hedrick with you. Been an interesting ball game, but I think defense has really been the big part of it here. Champlin Park only has 2 errors, but they've had a lot of adventurous plays on the field, some of which have not been their fault. But Totino-Grace has played about as clean a high school fielding game as you're ever going to see.
Yeah, the defense has been solid for Totino. You got to like what you see. If you're a coach, if you're the pitcher for Totino, whoever's pitching, you You got to like that. And even if you're not pitching in this game, you got to like that, knowing if you're going out there pitching the next game, you go, man, my defense has been real solid through the first couple of games here. I trust them. If I don't get a strikeout, they're going to make the play behind me, and that just boosts the morale for the whole team. And the offense is doing their part too. So it just all the way around, you got to like what you're seeing if you're the coach from Totino.
Gave you that stat earlier in the game, 32 unearned runs this year given up by Champlin Park in 19 games. In 21 games this year, Totino-Grace has only given up 18 unearned runs. So they have been pretty slick with the gloves all year long. Here's Eibensteiner, who's reached on one of those errors, also singled off the foot of the first baseman Tyler Nelson. And there he takes a strike. More good baseball here there from Jack Eibensteiner. And takes a breaking ball off the plate, 1-1. Lamberty this year giving up 28 base hits, 28 runs, 22 of which were earned. And he has come in just pumping the strike zone. He's faced 4 hitters. He has retired 2 of the 3 completed at bats. The other one was an error. Only mistake in the last inning was the wild pitch on his first pitch coming into the ballgame. And Eibensteiner with a check swing, and they got him. And he kind of knew it, as he was already heading back to the dugout when the call was made.
And if you're a batter, you can't convince the umpire that you swung there. You kind of run into the dugout already. You gotta stay in there and say, "No, I didn't swing." But that's an easy call for the umpire if you're already walking back to the bench.
German, another off-speed pitch, and he's way out front, and he went around on that too.
And I like Lamberty's approach here. He's, like we said, he's pumping the strike zone. He's got some decent velocity, so he throws that fastball hard, locates it pretty well, and then he mixes that breaking ball in any count, and he's kind of got the Totino last couple batters off balance here.
He didn't look like he sped up the motion there a little bit too. It didn't really have much of a leg kick on that last pitch at all. See if he does it again here. Yeah, he goes back to the high leg kick. Fouled away, 1-2. Not really a quick pitch since you're still going through the windup, but it is changing the rhythm, and that's all that matters to a hitter.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I've kind of watched him the last couple times. It's a slower kind of pause there, and then sometimes a high leg kick, sometimes not.
Bouncing ball to short, and the 2 Tylers will connect on that. Hanson to Nelson. Finally, a straightforward ground ball for Champlin Park in this ball game. Here's the motion. Saw one pitch there where he didn't bring the leg up at all. Wasn't that one, that's the out. So that'll bring up Eric Radicek. Double and a run scored and a strikeout in this ball game. And there's strike 1. You have to like what Lamberty's given the Rebels here since coming in. The adventurous first pitch, but since then he's really shut down the hitters he's faced. Now it's up to the offense.
Yeah,
outside. He's
attacking. He's doing a nice job here. It's just kind of, take a look at this delivery again. Everything's kind of real slow, and then the high leg kick, and then if he does not do that high leg kick, it's just kind of a weird.
This one sliced down the left field line. That's a fair ball. And Radicek is going to dig for 2 again. Hammond's going to come up firing, and the throw is cut off. It's another double. So 2 doubles in the game for Eric Radicek, who came in with only 3 during the regular season. And he will be courtesy run for it again. The inside-out swing does the job.
A good piece of hitting there, just going with the pitch, and nice line drive past the third baseman there. And just to finish up the thought on the delivery from Lamberty here, I think if he mixes up that high leg kick with kind of a slide step with his kind of start and his delivery, it's kind of.
It's an appeal at first base saying Radicek didn't touch the bag. but it looks like they're not going to win that one. And now they're going to try it again. And now it's official.
I think possibly they didn't do it right the first time. You have to step on. You have to step on the mound, then step off and appeal.
It was close, but that toe's certainly on there. And a high fastball swung on and missed by Stika. Hit a hard single up the middle, and he hit a hard grounder back to the mound that was knocked down by Vandermeeden. So he's 1 for 2 with an RBI today. Courtesy runner at second base once again is Christofferson. Good look there at Carter McLaughlin, who's on deck. He also has a double in this ball game. He'll be next if they continue this 5th inning. Up and in, 2-1.
If you're Champlin Park here too, Lambert, he's appeared in a lot of games. He hasn't started every game that he's been in, so he's obviously kind of a middle reliever guy that you like to use a lot, so you got to be aware of that, and pitch counts for the rest of the tournament too with him.
Swung on and missed, 2-2.
It gets really tough too as a coach trying to manage these games too, because you're trying to win this game. If the game gets out of hand though, you have to, you know you're not done today, but you know you got to play 5 more games if you're going to win the section, so you got to watch your pitchers and your pitch counts with the new rules coming into place last year or the year before, I think.
Down the right field line, that's going to be foul. Might be playable, but it's just out of the reach of Higgins in right field. Next game, a couple days away, 2 days away, and of course 3 days since the tournament started. As you see the Totino bullpen, they had some action going there. Aman Gupta was the pitcher yesterday for Champlin Park. You'd think he'd be ready to come back on the 31st at CHS Field.
Yeah, he would be eligible based on he only threw 63 pitches, so he would be ready to come back on the 31st.
This one popped up in fair territory and playable there for Carter Fox, who takes charge and ends the inning. So the first scoreless inning for Totino-Grace since the first, and after 5, they lead at 5-1 on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You will also have access to our large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find us, go to the App Store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, now available on Apple TV, coming soon to Roku.
(5-1) Totino-Grace as we move into the 6th inning. Charlie Beatty and Aaron Hedrick with you. And Aaron, last inning before the inning ended, you were talking about pitch counts a little bit, and really it affects both of these teams, and it affects them differently, especially if this result doesn't change.
Yeah, for sure. If you're Champlin Park here, if the result doesn't change, then you can go back to Gupta, who started yesterday and got the pitched really well for Champlin Park, but then you gotta go deep into your rotation the rest of the way because you gotta win 5 more games. Totino, they threw out Ben De La Forest yesterday, won the game. He can come back. He's eligible on the 31st to start. And then if they win that game, they don't have to play till June 5th, and he can come back and start that one again in theory too. So you're in the driver's seat if you win this game.
Foul back to the screen by Carter Hammonds. And beyond that, I mean, they've got De La Forest, who started 3 games this year and won the game yesterday. Actually started 4 games this year. More on that after this next pitch, as that one is another low strike. It's 0-2. You've also got Fox, who's on the mound right now, starting 4 times this year with great numbers with Stevens. He was 4-1 with an ERA of 3.28, so their pitching staff's incredibly deep. There's a bouncer to short, and Palmer with a bobble, and that might be enough as the speedy Hammond reaches on the E6.
A pretty routine looking play there, and just kind of ate him up in the transfer there. Just kind of the first play by Totino in the field that hasn't been perfect.
First base runner for Champlin Park since the 3rd inning. And now Fox is going to at least show a bunt. Pulls it back and takes one up high. 4-run game this late. You don't think he's actually going to try that.
I like the idea of maybe trying to make him think. Kind of messes with the pitcher. Pitchers have a hard time. They see that. They don't always throw strike, so maybe try to get ahead if you're the batter. And definitely probably not trying to play small ball here with the bunt.
So 1 ball and 1 strike now, the count on Fox, who's 1 for 2. Another breaking ball up high on the pullback on the bunt. 2-1.
You might see that again, just to. They think it's working to throw off the pitcher.
This one is into right field, and that is going to be on a line out there for McLaughlin. So that'll bring up Brady Higgins.
The only problem with running that kind of that fake bunt is that you put the batter in a tough spot where he's got to use a slap swing if he does get a good pitch to hit there, because he's got to pull the bat back, and then he just doesn't have the same momentum he would if he wasn't even doing the fake bunt.
That one's up and in and hits Higgins. It's our first hit batter of the game. And it's runners at first and second with 1 out for Tyler Gukeen.
And that doesn't always feel great, but as a batter, you do a job there, you get on base, you really need base runners, so you're going to take it however you can get.
6th hit batter of the year for Fox. And now the catcher with a chance to make a play. He's 0 for 2 today. Fouled out to his counterpart Radicek back in the 1st inning, and has also grounded to short and takes a strike.
Good pitch, low and on the outside corner there. Tough pitch to hit, so good spot to start the batter with a strike.
That one too low, 1-1. Cameron Hammonds is at second base. He reached on the air. Higgins was hit by a pitch. He's at first. Rebels with only 3 base hits in this game, but they could use a big one here. And Gukeen trying to deliver into left center field, and that one is going to get down for a hit and roll all the way to the wall. Hammond scores. They're going to hold Higgins at third base, and it's a 1-out double, and the Rebels trying to make a game out of it. Cut the lead to 5-2.
Nice piece of hitting there. Nice line drive over the left fielder's head. Went with that pitch down and just took a nice compact swing and hit it hard, and a nice job there. Coach for Champlin Park not trying to force that other run in. You need the runs, you need the base runners here, so no need to send them. You got 1 out, you got guys on second and third, and number 5 batter up, so Champlin Park's down, but sitting in a nice spot here. They just got to keep executing.
RBI number 5 on the year for Gukeen. And the infield is going to come in for Totino-Grace a little bit. And now they're going to check over at first. I almost threw the appeal throw away, and they're going to say Gukeen touched first as well. Courtesy runner for him at second base is Max Mazzi, number 8. And the first pitch to Tyler Nelson is a strike at the knees. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of grounders to the left side of the infield. He represents the tying run here. Again, this Champlin Park team has not hit a home run all season. Bouncer foul on the curveball.
Is that a home run call that you're making?
Just saying. Draw your own conclusions. It's my job to build the drama, and that's what you do.
They'll take it.
I'm just setting the stage for the improbable.
I think Champlin Park would take it, though, if it were to happen. They'll also take just a line drive single, too.
And instead, it's a 3-pitch strikeout as Nelson goes after a high one, and it's up to Tanner Thompson. So a big couple hitters here, and Fox gets the first one. even if you don't come all the way back in this ball game, you have runners at second and third. You had one out for Champlin Park. It's the 6th inning. This is the chance you have to take. Thompson takes a strike. He is 0 for 2, called out on strikes back in the 2nd, fly to right in the 4th.
They will get another at bat, obviously, in the top of the 7th. But yeah, this is the prime spot that you have runners on base with minimal outs. You gotta do what you can in this spot and make it manageable in that top of the 7th inning. Even if you don't come back and tie it in this inning, you know, get another 1 or 2, and then anything can happen. And you got a little bit more. You got a little bit more faith at that point.
Fouled away, 1 and 2 now on Thompson. Fox with 4 strikeouts in the game, including 1 in this inning. Trying to get out of a jam in the top half of the 6th. Radicek setting up outside, and it's just outside, 2 and 2. There are the Centennial Cougars waiting their turn. They'll play Mounds View after this. Breaking ball outside, 3 and 2. Tyler Hanson would be next if they can extend the inning. Fox has not walked anybody. He has hit a batter. Here's the 3-2 pitch, fouled away. And that one's going to get out of play.
Really good at bat here from Tanner Thompson, working the count full, fouling pitches off here. Doing a nice job. Now his job is to put the ball in play somewhere with 2 strikes. Just get it in play. You don't need to hit it super hard. Just get the ball down, try to score 1 or 2 here.
3-2 pitch, grounded to the right side, playable for Spivacek. The throw over to first ends the threat and holds the Rebels to only 1. So Fox, after putting a couple men on early in the inning, responds well, and we head to the bottom half of the 6th with the Eagles leading by 3.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfies, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Getting late here in the Section 5-4A playoffs. Bottom of the 6th, Totino-Grace leading it 5-2 here on CCX Sports. And don't forget, stay tuned for Sports Jam coming your way every Monday, Tuesday, and hey, today, that's Wednesday, 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX1 or on demand. Lots to talk about in this game as the baseball playoffs roll on. Of course, softball playoffs getting close to a conclusion. That state tournament starts next week. And, of course, go on and check out the play of the week as well. State lacrosse, track and field getting close. Big time of year as the school year wraps up. Lamberty will deal with McLaughlin, Spivacek, and then the top of the order as he delivers a strike. And, of course, you're getting close to a time of year with these kids, too, where classes are almost over. They might have some finals. But once they get past that, there's some sports where you don't have to necessarily pay too hard of attention in school because not a whole lot's going on. Get to focus in.
You hope. Sometimes it's
or defocus, as the case may be.
It's tough sometimes to keep all the kids focused. They know that summer's right around the corner, but they should be embracing this. They're done with class. All they got to focus on is baseball, and that should be something that they embrace and love.
Outside 1 and 2, and really the proof as to who can stay focused the best sometimes shows up when you get into mid-June and you're playing those state tournament games, trying to get to target field. 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, and that one bounced and then hit the bat, and it rolls up the first baseline foul.
And almost stayed fair.
And would have been a legal fair ball. It doesn't happen often, unless you're Vladimir Guerrero, but it doesn't happen often. And McLaughlin alertly at least knew it. But you don't see that very often as an announcer. I've been calling baseball a long time, and I don't think I've ever seen a ball hit out of the dirt. The 1-2.
Just watching it on TV, like you said, Vlad Guerrero Jr. or Vlad Guerrero, not Junior. Junior's
sure,
playing
Junior
right now.
can do it too.
I messed that one up because you hear so much about Junior nowadays.
And the 2-2 pitch. And that one, another bouncing ball foul. I would imagine that if you grew up in the Guerrero household, you become a free swinger.
Yeah, I would think so.
Just by osmosis. It's interesting with those two as well because Vlad Guerrero is long, lanky. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is short and stocky. They don't look anything like each other. Outside, 3-2.
Yeah, a little bit different stature, but both phenomenal players. Junior's going to be a phenomenal player in his own right, and fun to watch those guys play.
3-2 on the way to McLaughlin. Challenges him with a fastball. High drive to deep left center field. Evan Hammond's going back, and he's got room to make the catch. See some of these fly balls to the outfield here in this ballpark, and you can see why Champlin Park doesn't hit a lot of home runs, especially in that left center field area. I'm not sure the dimensions. They don't have them posted, but right center field certainly looks a little bit shallower than left center field. And we've seen a lot of fly balls go out there into dead center, left center field, and just die. Spivacek's had a good ball game out of the number 9 hole. A couple hits.
Some of those balls to the outfield, too, they look well struck off the bat, and some of them have been, and they just don't carry, and it's looks deeper ballpark.
This one a little bit more straightforward for Cameron Hammonds. He makes the catch for out number 2. A really nice job once again by Lamberty, giving this team a chance in relief. This will be his second time through the order now as he faces Palmer. And he allowed just 2 base runners the first time through. 1 on an error, 1 on a double. Struck out Palmer looking. And delivers a strike on the inside corner. That was right after I'd mentioned how tough Palmer is to strike out. Just the 7th time all season for a guy who hits over 450. Breaking ball for strike 2. Palmer today 1 for 3 with a run scored. There's that quick leg kick again, and Palmer goes back up the middle with a base hit. So 2 for 4 now. It's tough to get your average up when you're hitting over 450, but he's done it today, and that'll bring up Stephen Hand.
Next up, number 4, Stephen.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there. Just, again, he's got that middle approach there, and he goes with the pitch and does a nice job. And Lambert, he's still doing a nice job. He just needs to get another out, get Champlin Park back in the dugout and see what they can do with the bats.
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Rebels in the 7th will have the bottom third of the order. Tyler Hanson, Noah Christensen, Evan Hammonds. That might sound bad, but that trio has 2 of the team's 4 hits today. And there's a strike on the outside corner. And again, they'll need a big inning. And if your bottom of the order can deliver, that is usually the recipe for a big inning. On the outside corner again, so really working away from the left-handed hitter Hand, and it's 1-2.
Hand's in the same spot here. He's just got to kind of sit on that fastball, react to another breaking ball.
In the dirt, kicks away. Palmer had a big secondary lead, and he'll take second base standing up. So another wild pitch, second for Lamberty, but really what his duty is now is just to get the runner at the plate, or the batter at the plate, I should say. 2 outs in the inning.
Just one more good pitch here. He's got to come back with his best.
Poke to second. Another slow roller, and the play is made by Carter Fox to end the inning. So Lamberty pitches around the 2-out base hit and the wild pitch. And it's the last chance saloon time for Champlin Park as we go to the top half of the 7th. Rebels trailing by 3 on CCX Sports.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
That's how this one is played out. Totino-Grace doing their damage in the middle innings. They lead it 5-2. And as we move to the bottom half of the 7th, they're going to bring the closer in from center field. Nicholas Stika is on the mound, looking for his 5th save of the year. And as many opportunities, 10 in the 3rd innings pitched this year, 9 strikeouts, an ERA of 1.35, and a 1-1 record. So that will necessitate a change in center field, and it looks like it's going to be Andrew Christofferson, who we've seen as a courtesy runner in this game, will now play center. Stika moving to the mound. And the first man he will face is Tyler Hanson, Noah Christensen, Evan Hammonds will be the 3 hitters scheduled in the top half of the 7th inning here for the Rebels.
And Stika actually threw yesterday in a couple of innings, only 20 pitches, so he's eligible to pitch back-to-back days. Doesn't matter if he throws that one pitch, he'll be shut down for tomorrow, but good thing they don't have a game tomorrow. Either way.
Should mention, did get the save yesterday, so this is actually his 6th save opportunity of the year, and he's 5 for 5, 1-1 now. Pitch up and in. Backs Hanson off the plate. Tyler today is twice grounded to third on 2 very good plays by Alex Stevens. One to his left, one to his right. On the inside corner, drop down sidearm a little bit there, Stika, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't always see it in high school like you would at the major league level, but it's nice if you have a guy who can come in and close out the ball game, and if you're in the situation, 1 or 2 innings, just come in, lights out, get a couple strikeouts, and just shut the game down for your team.
Slow breaking ball and a slow roller. Palmer charging, and it rolls under his glove. And that'll be his 2nd error of the ball game. 1 in each of the last 2 innings, and again, looking like he's just trying to make the play a little too quickly out there on a slow roller through the grass.
Yeah, it looked maybe almost a little too nonchalant, thinking that the play was so routine, and just kind of got under his glove a little bit. And if you're Champlin Park, you're going to take that. You need as many base runners as you can, and if you can get 2 of the bottom 3 guys here on the lineup, I think Champlin's in a good spot.
Pinch hitter here is Dustin Twigstrom for Noah Christensen, and he takes the strike. Twigstrom on the year, just 9 at bats, 1 hit. Chance to deliver a big one here in the 7th inning. A 1-1 pitch on the way from Stika. Up high, 2-1.
Your job here, too, as a pinch hitter here is to have a good at-bat. You know, you don't have to go up there and blast a home run, but...
Check on the runner at first, close play.
But do a job as a pinch hitter here. Take the balls, don't swing out of the zone, don't swing outside of yourself, stay within yourself, and do a job.
Foul tip and a good cut, 2-2.
Now with 2 strikes, you hear it talked about sometimes. You shorten up here and you put the ball in play. Try to move the runner over. See what you can do.
Pitch on the way from Stika and a line drive and a base hit. And the tying run will come to the plate. And the pinch hitter gets the job done. So that'll bring up Evan Hammonds to try to keep the line moving here for Champlin Park. And a big smile on the face of Dustin Twigstrom at first base. Straight back up the middle, and just what Aaron was talking about. Take what the pitcher gives you, and he did.
And as a coach in this spot, you need 3 runs. I'm almost tempted, though. You got a quick runner here. Maybe think about a bunt.
Not going to do it here. It takes a strike. Alex Stevens is certainly thinking the same way you are because he's way up on the grass at third base, so a push bunt might be the better option here if you're going to try it. Swinging away, off the glove of Stika. Palmer makes a nice backhanded stab and gets the out at first. 1-6-3, and Palmer made the error earlier in the inning. Makes a nice play off the ricochet, and the runners move up.
It works like a sacrifice bunt in theory there, and a nice job of Palmer staying with that. Every once in a while when it goes off that pitcher's glove, you see it. It doesn't result in an out anywhere because the middle infielders are kind of out of position at that point, but a nice job making the play there.
So here's Cameron Hammonds, 0 for 3, but has reached on an error and scored a run. He was the beneficiary of Palmer's first error in this game, and he takes a strike. Oh, 1 pitch on the way, up and in. So the Rebels have given themselves a chance here. They stranded 2 in the 6th inning. They've got the tying run at the plate here the 2nd time in the 7th inning. And a line drive and a base hit up the middle. 1 run scores. Twigstrom is held at third, and Hammonds delivers a 1-out single, and it's a 2-run ball game.
Another nice piece of hitting there. Just went back up the middle again. I think that's got to be the Rebels' approach here. You can come back in this game with just nice line drive singles. You don't have to hit bombs. You don't have to get all the extra base hits. All those will be nice, and some of them will probably come if you stay within yourself here. But just keep moving the runners over, and you're in a good position. And it's like they talked about here. I think Champlin's feeling good. They had their bottom lineup, bottom third of it. Just get 2 of those guys on. They did that, and now the top of the lineup's got a chance to do something special.
Question for you now. You've got speed at first base. Double play would end the game. Do you even think about sending Cam Hammonds in this situation to get him into scoring position, knowing you're not a power hitting team, and a single could tie it if he gets there?
I think about it. I'll tell you that much. It would go through my mind. Oh man, that's tough. Not right away.
Carter Fox takes a strike on the outside corner with Hammonds staying put. See if Corey Davis is thinking about it. He is flashing a lot of signals over there at third base. The big question is, do they mean anything? An extra base hit here could tie it, and that one comes in behind Fox and somehow missed him.
At this point, I would say no. You don't send him here. You don't want to run into that second out. So far, the guys have been hitting the pitcher here, pretty decent, doing a nice job. So let the batter do the work at this point.
Fastball there, 1-2. Brady Higgins would be next. Then Tyler Gukeen, who had the big hit in the 6th inning, the double that scored a run. Check on the runner over at first with 2 strikes. Totino-Grace wise to the possibility. There you see Brady Higgins waiting for his chance. 1-2. Breaking ball lined and foul down the left field line. That one was torched. And somehow it went foul. Somehow it missed Dustin Twigstrom.
Oh, a nice swing there, too, and just...
There's a lot of people in that area, and he missed all of them.
Would have been a nice spot. Would have obviously scored the runner from third and probably moved runner from first to third in that spot, and he'd have the tying run 90 feet away.
Here's the pitch again. Another slow chopper down to third. Stevens goes to first for the out and allows the run to score. So that moves the tying run to second base, but one out ends the game here for Totino-Grace. 5-3 the put out and an RBI.
It's a tough play, too, as a third baseman. A tough decision to make there. You still have the lead even if you don't get the runner out at home, but now it's a one-run lead versus a two-run lead, and if I'm a third baseman, I'm thinking of going home there, try to keep the lead at two, but you got to go with what you know for sure. And you knew he had a for sure out at first, and he got that, and now they're just one out of the way, and you just trust your pitcher and the defense to get that last out.
So Higgins here, and a base hit likely ties it with good speed at second base. 2 outs in the 7th. Line drive. Palmer knocks it down. Might have a play at first. He eats the baseball, and runners are at the corners. That's a tough play for Palmer. You got a guy cutting right in front of you. That ball's hit very hard, and he kept it in front of him at least.
And he did everything right there. That ball easily could have ate him up, or he could have come up early and let that get past him. He did a nice job keeping it in front of him, which keeps the tying run at third base.
Interesting to see how that would be scored. Gukeen now with a chance to be a hero for a second consecutive inning. First pitch is a strike. So a little drama here in this section playoff game. And again, this does not eliminate anybody. But we've already talked many times today about how much tougher the road is if you lose. And Gukeen with a soft liner. Palmer can't grab it. And it'll tie the game as Hammonds comes in. 3 runs in the inning for the Rebels, and it's 5-all here in the top half of the 7th. And Palmer's had an interesting inning in the field with a couple of errors, but that one is a base hit. He did everything he could.
And what you like to see here is Champlin not dying here at the top of the 7th inning. They're on their field. They're on their own field. They're the away team. They're the lower seed. They're the underdog. They're down 3 runs coming into the top of the 7th inning, but they're no fight, no die, and they haven't blasted the ball probably 10 feet out of the infield, but they're moving the runners over and they're playing baseball the right way and doing a job, and just nice job of coming back here, and they still got a chance to take a lead here too.
Yeah, it'll be up to Tyler Nelson, who's 0 for 3 today. But he can erase all that. He also has an error in the field. He could be the hero here in the 7th inning. Great comeback effort by this Rebels team, which, as we've talked about, is not a big offensive group. Down 4 runs going into the 6th against a very good pitching Totino-Grace team, and they could really send a shockwave through this section if they can add another run and hold on to it. Nelson takes a strike.
You could tell that was probably the message from the coach before they went up to the plate. Hey, we're not going to go out and hit 3 home runs and tie this game up. So let's play small ball. Let's do us. Move runners over however we can do it. Bunts, errors, hits. And that's all they've done.
The 0-1. High fly ball, deep center field. Christofferson going back, and he caught it. What a catch by the replacement center fielder on the warning track to keep us tied at 5. So the Rebels come back to tie it, but that young man made the defensive play of the day and saves probably 2 runs. And we head to the bottom of the 7th, all even on CCX Sports.
Imagination Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination.
Honey, have you seen my cell phone?
But don't just imagine.
My park came to life?
Ooh, a plot twist.
Use STEM to build, create.
She did it.
And change the world.
Who's with me?
I'm more of a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Well, things have changed here as the Rebels score 3 in the top half of the 7th. We're all tied at 5, and it will be the meat of the order coming up for Totino-Grace, Stevens, Eibensteiner, and German. As we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, the Eagles in an unfamiliar stadium playing against a team that calls this place home, but they're the home team, even wearing their road uniforms, just to throw a little extra level of confusion in there. But they have a chance to walk this off and save what could be an embarrassing collapse as a check swing by Stevens delivers a leadoff single.
Yeah, just kind of an excuse me swing that'll go down as a line drive in the book. And I mean, it was a line drive, but a weak check swing line drive, and you'll take the runner. And Lamberty, unfortunately, is going to have to throw out of the stretch here, and his job is get a ground ball here. Don't let this phase you. It's a tight spot to be in, but just keep doing the job that he's been doing, and he'll be fine.
Eibensteiner steps in, pitch runner here for Stevens. Davis Branham, number 6, will run at first base, so a pinch runner. And Eibensteiner flashing a bunt, takes it low. So your cleanup hitter here and an RBI guy sacrificing himself maybe to get the runner over.
You don't see that often, and I like the approach from the head coach here.
1-0 pitch, swinging away this time at a sky-high pop-up behind the third base bag. Long run and a nice play by Tyler Hanson. He'll get the ball back in quickly, made the catch in foul ground. And that will bring up Quinn German.
You got to be careful here, too. You're catching that in foul territory. You're running backwards and not paying attention if that runner on first is tagging up. Obviously, that's a tough play to tag up on, but it's always a tricky little play.
Eagles have only 2 hits since Lamberty came into the game, including that check swing by Stevens a second ago. German today is 0 for 3. He's grounded into a double play, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded to short. 8 RBIs for him this year, hitting .233. In the dirt, blocked very nicely. We've seen a couple of those get past Gukeen here today, but that one he kept in front of him to keep the runner at first. Is some light throwing going on in the Champlin Park bullpen. Here's a line drive to center field. Hammonds, though, going back and has a beat on it for out number 2. So that'll bring up Radicek, guy who's not necessarily the main man in this lineup, but he has 2 doubles today. There you see some throwing out there in the bullpen. Max Fegestad is the pitcher who is throwing up. He's the lefty pitcher that they have not used all year long. That would be an interesting spot for him, but then again, got to be thinking pitch count here for Lamberty, who is now working on his 4th inning. Radicek, bouncer, back up the middle and a base hit. Stopping at second is the pinch runner Branham. And so that'll bring up Nick Stika. You know he's motivated to try to walk this thing off for Totino-Grace after a rough top half of the 7th inning. His first blown save of the year. Stika's 1 for 3. He's driven in a run today, and the winning run is at second base. Otherwise, extra innings.
Kind of a funny spot to be in. You could knock in a run here and earn yourself the win from the plate.
Slow roller to the left side. Hanson charging. Play is to first. Got him by a step, and we are headed to the 8th. All knotted up at 5 as the Rebels survive an Eagles challenge in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Extra innings on CCX Sports.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
So 7 innings hasn't solved anything. And we go to the 8th, and another new pitcher for Totino-Grace as Alex Stevens now will move from third base to the mound. Taking over at third base is Spivacek, pardon me, and the new second baseman. See, it's number 7 listed out there for Totino-Grace. I'll have to check the roster they gave us today. Double check who is playing second base right now. Kyle Gagnon, number 7, is at second base. And the Rebels with 1 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th come back to tie this thing up after Totino-Grace was in full control, Aaron, really almost throughout the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Totino really kind of put it on here. Champlin, they didn't blow them out of the water, but they were in control the whole way, and Champlin Park had a hard time getting runners across the plate there, but did a nice job. Bottom half started the rally in the top of the 7th inning and able to tie the game.
Stevens making his 11th appearance of the year, and he is the team leader in wins with 4. Also has 1 save. He's pitched 32 innings, second most on the roster. Struck out 31, and he is a hard thrower. Seen how good of a third base he plays, and now we'll see how well he does on the mound as you take a look at Ben Palmer, who's had some adventures out there at shortstop. A little uncharacteristic for a player of his caliber, but still chance at redemption as Stevens delivers a strike to Tanner Thompson. Pardon me, ball 1, down and in.
You could tell Stevens does. He has, looks like he has more velocity than the previous 2 Grace pitchers. Evidence there by that swing.
Stevens is a big kid. You can see it on the mound. He's built. There he goes off speed, and it's in the dirt, 2-1. We were talking about this off the air a few innings ago. It's interesting, Champlin Park with their pitching staff's a little thinner, how much more it would mean to them to go through the winner's bracket. Totino-Grace, if any team is built to go through the loser's bracket, it's probably them. Doesn't mean they want to do it, but they've got the pitching depth maybe to get away with it.
Right, it's not ideal, but for sure Totino is much deeper at the pitching position.
Bouncer to short, Palmer, sure-handed, makes the play. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up Tyler Hanson. It was Hanson who started the rally by reaching on an error last inning as the Rebels brought 8 men to the plate in the 7th inning. First pitch strike from Stevens. Saw the numbers there on Hanson today, 0 for 3. 3 ground balls to the left side. But he did score a run that sparked a rally in the dirt. So the Mounds View Mustangs and Centennial Cougars, who have been here both for a while now. You see the Mustangs there. They're curious onlookers. And the 1-1 pitch is over, 1-2. And of course, those 2 teams are wondering not only who they're going to play next, but how long they're going to have to wait to get on this field now. 1-2 pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, they've been here for a while, and they're geared up, ready to go. And as a player, once you're here and you're ready, you want to get on that field as soon as you can. But you just got to be patient.
Called strike 3 at the knees. Strikeout for Stevens. So that'll bring up Dustin Twingstrom.
Good spot there. Low outside corner, painted the corner. Nice pitch.
Twingstrom, we talked about this last inning. He didn't have many at-bats, and he'd only had one hit coming in, and he just had to do what he could to get on base last inning. And if he doesn't get that base hit, there is no rally. His run theoretically didn't mean anything because it wasn't the tying run, but certainly a huge at-bat in a big spot for a guy who hasn't played much this year. And now he's up 2-0 against Stevens. And he serves one into right center field. Long run for McLaughlin, and he's not going to get there. Able to knock it down, flips it to Christopherson to toss it back in, but Twingstrom has 2 hits now in 2 innings after having 1 all season. And he is in scoring position now for Evan Hammonds.
It's funny watching him swing here, because watching him swing these last 2 innings, it doesn't look like he's somebody who's only had one hit the whole season. He looks like he has a good approach up there. He swings the bat well, he swings hard, and just hasn't gone his way previous to today, but he's doing a nice job here in a big game.
Up high, 1 ball and no strikes to Evan Hammonds. Saw that replay. You have to wonder if McLaughlin doesn't somehow knock that ball down and hold it, flip it to Christopherson for the toss back to the infield. Where is Twingstrom right now? Second or third? Would have kept rolling to the wall. And in high school baseball, the difference between second and third can sometimes make all the difference. Pitchers are not as in control. Wild pitches change a lot of high school baseball games. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Slow breaking ball outside. Stevens only has 1 wild pitch all year, so not saying it would have happened, but sometimes get 90 feet away, things happen. 2-2. And the Champlin Park crowd didn't like that one.
It was tight. It was inside. Looked pretty close, though.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at second. Off-speed pitch down low, 3-2. Cam Hammonds would be next. Both the Hammonds are sophomores. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Right on it, fouls it back to the screen.
Again, with 2 strikes here, just kind of go back to that approach, shorten up, put the ball in play, shorten your swing up. Don't need to do too much here.
Another payoff pitch coming. Right down the middle. And that will end the inning as Stevens wins that little personal battle, and we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Still tied at 5 as the Rebels strand 1 in the top half of the inning. Totino-Grace coming up. They'll have the bottom of the order trying to do some damage in a tie game on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You will also have access to our large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find us, go to the App Store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, now available on Apple TV, coming soon to Roku.
Still tied here into the bottom half of the 8th. As the Rebels with a threat in the top half of the first extra inning, but they leave a runner at second base. It'll be Carter McLaughlin, Evan Spivacek, Ben Palmer due up. We're still here.
We are.
No doubleheader for us today, but it's going to be close with this game as we move into the 8th inning. But it's been entertaining. Can't ask for much more than this in a playoff game. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been real fun, and to watch Champlin fight back there in the top of the 7th, and and not die. It's definitely been fun, and I think we're set up for a fine finish here too.
Carter McLaughlin takes ball 1. 1 for 3 today. Doubled and scored back in the 4th. And rockets one to center field. That one is going to take off, and Hammonds just had enough. Evan and Cam Hammonds are not tall outfielders, but he just had enough height to make that play.
And he took a first step in there too. Those line drives are so hard to read sometimes. You want to charge in on them and then realize, no, it's got a little more carry on it. So a nice job there, sticking with it.
Lamberty's still the pitcher here. There's a ball for Spivacek. Replay cut back from Hammonds after he made that catch just before you saw the sigh of relief out there. Line drive, base hit for Spivacek. And he continues to be a tough out at the bottom of the order. 3 for 4 now. And that'll turn things over to Palmer.
This is an ideal spot here if you're the Eagles.
Next up, number 10, Ben Palmer.
Well, Palmer, who is 2 for 4 today. He's had an interesting day in the field. He's been credited with 3 errors by our unofficial count, which is out of character. Some of them on tough plays, but it can all go by the boards with a base hit here. And the Eagles are the home team despite wearing the road uniforms. Going to try to bunt his way on, and a good bunt down the third baseline. Twinkster up with it and makes a nice play to first. Moves Spivacek down to second, but it's up to Stephen Hand.
The runner was off immediately too on that pitch, so he might have had a stolen base whether he got that bunt down or not, but a nice job moving that runner over to second and doing a nice job there. It's awesome when players can, he's a big hitter, and it's nice when you can see those guys can get a bunt down, the sack bunt, and do a job and be unselfish for their team.
So the winning run now at second base. And Hand with a sky-high pop-up on the infield. Hanson calling for it. And we will go to the 9th as both teams leave a runner in scoring position in the 8th inning. And we are still tied at 5 after 8 on CCX Sports.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your boss, your boss's boss, you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
To the 9th, 5 apiece. Champlin Park will have the top of the order due up against Alex Stevens. So that means Cam Hammonds, Carter Fox, and Brady Higgins. Trio that all did big damage in that 7th inning rally that saw the Rebels score 3 runs. They trailed this game 5-1 after the 4th. And they didn't really have a whole lot going offensively. They got a run back in the 6th, but remember in the 6th they stranded 2 men in scoring position with 1 out. And they still had enough in the tank to come back in the 7th. Follow us on Twitter at CCX Sports. Want to hear what you have to say about this ball game, which has been a good one as we move into the 9th. Same with Instagram at CCX_media.
Now batting number 18, Cam Hammonds.
You don't need any filters today on the Instagram pics on a day like this. It is a perfect baseball day as Cam Hammonds steps in. Fouls it back to the screen. Hammonds 1 for 4, but he's reached twice and scored both times. Reached on an error back in the 6th and singled and scored in the 7th. Also drove in a run in the 7th inning. There's that off-speed pitch and just locked him up. 0-2.
And that's okay. If you're not really swinging at that breaking ball, you can't react to it, let it go, but now you got to protect.
Same pitch, bouncer to third, and a first chance at third base for Spivacek, and he makes it cleanly. So that'll bring up Carter Fox. Fox 1 for 4 with an RBI in that 7th inning. Singled all the way back in the 1st and takes one up and in. All these hitters getting their first look at Stevens, who came on to face the bottom 4 hitters in the order last inning. Down the middle, 1-1.
They got to be ready and get their hands going a little sooner here. He's definitely throwing harder, so. And then he mixes in that slow off speed. So you got to sit on the fastball. No, you got to get your hands going sooner and then react to that curveball. Hopefully keep your hands back and flip it the other way.
Hard liner into left, hand coming on, has to play it on a hop, eats him up and rolls by him, and Fox is going to end up at least at second base. A single there and an error on top of it. And again, this clean fielding Totino-Grace team has had some problems in the last couple innings.
Yeah, that's a hit the whole way. It looked like Han thought maybe he had a play on it and just overran it a little bit, and then it took a weird spin and got past him. Unfortunate defensive play out there for the Eagles. And if you're Champlin, you got to take advantage of having a runner in scoring position here.
Chance for Higgins again with a runner at second, and he hits one high to the left side. Playable for Hand out there. He hauls it in for out number 2. And so it's up to Gukeen again, who had the big hit in the 6th inning. He also had the big hit in the 7th inning. He got the only run across in the 6th. He had the game-tying hit in the 7th, and he can put Champlin Park ahead here in the 9th. Playing the role of cleanup hitter perfectly here today. Can he do it for a 3rd time? Line drive, off the glove of Gagnon. Fox rounding 3rd, and he will score, and Champlin Park's going to take a 6-5 lead. And Gukeen delivers for a 3rd time despite the effort of Gagnon at second base. Full extension on the lunge, just couldn't quite reach it, and it trickled into the outfield where no one could grab it.
A good piece of hitting. Unfortunate for the Eagles there. That would have been a heck of a play. And just off his glove, and that slows it down and gives the runner a chance to come in from second and score there. Had he not gotten the glove on it, there might have been a play at the plate there. Gets to the outfielder a little bit quicker, and that could have been very interesting, but a good break for the Rebels.
Oh, Nelson now with a runner at first as Mazzy comes on for the courtesy run again. He takes the strike. Nelson is 0 for 4 today. Again, he flied out to end the 7th inning on a deep ball to right center field that Christopherson made a great catch on. Slow roller up the 3rd base line and foul. That's another play worth noting because that ball nearly got over the head of Christopherson, who went full extension on his first defensive chance of the game coming in as a replacement, and he saved the day then. Kept things moving here into the 9th, but now the Rebels do have the 1-run lead anyway. Stevens with a look at Mazzy over at first base. And Nelson called time. Not sure it was granted, but the pitch was outside, 1-2.
That's one of those pitches you get away with as a batter there. You can't just step out assuming that you're going to be granted time, because the umpire does not have to grant it there, and you got away with one there that it was a ball instead of a strike.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball, pop foul out of play.
Into the field of dandelions back there.
It'll be Stevens, Eibensteiner, and German to hit for the Eagles in the bottom half of the 9th. So it's the 3, 4, 5 hitters. Stevens has to keep it where it is right now. This time Nelson does get time called.
I think the last time it was just too quick right before the pitch there, and Stevens was shaking off a couple signs there. He didn't want to step out.
The pitch. Back to the backstop. Hard off the padding. A heck of a ball game, and these two teams, at best, would have 2 more games to play to get themselves into the state tournament. That's the best case scenario. But you lose this and it becomes the long road as this one is skied into right center field. McLaughlin Christopherson ranging over. It's Christopherson who takes charge and makes the play. But the big hit once again delivered by Tyler Gukeen, the catcher. His 3rd RBI of the day, all in the last 4 innings. And the Rebels now lead it 6-5 as we head to the bottom half of the 9th. Can they hold it? We'll see when we come back on CCX Sports.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Why couldn't the
Wait, why was the basketball court all wet?
Why?
Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where'd the cats go on vacation? New York.
Champlin Park looking for what would be a really incredible comeback win. A team that was 8-11. They're the 5 seed in this section field, facing what we mentioned is the clear-cut #1. Totino-Grace really way out ahead of everybody in terms of the rankings. 16-5 came into this game as the #5 ranked team in the state. And they have the 5-2 lead going into the 7th. The Rebels fought that off. And how about the work done by this guy, Vincent Lamberty, to keep Champlin Park in the game. Now he has a chance to be the winning pitcher if he can get 3 more outs. And delivers a strike to Stevens, who right now is in line for the loss. Again, if there's any team that can manage a pitching staff that's deep through the losers bracket, it's this Eagles team, but they don't want to do it as Stevens rounds one to Twingstrom. He delivers. And there's one gone. It's up to Jack Eibensteiner now to try to get something started.
That first out, that's huge for Lamberty and for the Rebels defense. It kind of lets everybody breathe a little bit. And you let that leadoff guy get on, then everybody gets really tight. And that was a big job by Lamberty and a nice job getting ahead.
Strike to Eibensteiner. Don't breathe too much because you've got another 400 hitter stepping in, and Jack Eibensteiner has a hit today. He's also reached on an error. Up and away from Lamberty. He has done such a great job since coming in the 4th inning. And he has held the Eagles at bay. Bouncer to the right side, and Fox on the second hop. 2 gone. And remember, Lamberty came in, delivered his first pitch. It was a wild pitch that allowed a run to score, and since then, he's done very little wrong.
Yeah, he's done phenomenal. He's getting ahead of hitters. He's throwing strikes. He's mixing up pitches. He's getting just a lot of ground ball, a lot of fly ball outs. Not striking a bunch of guys out, but just doing what he needs to do, and the defense is backing him up thus far, and he's got 2 quick outs.
Now it's up to German. First pitch swinging. Foul down the first base line. 4 hits allowed by Lamberty in the 5 innings. Has not allowed a base runner past second base.
If you're Lamberty, too, it's just a nice job of bearing down and going deep. You know, he's probably not expecting to throw into the 9th inning here.
Fouled away, and the Eagles down to their last strike here in the winner's bracket.
He probably comes in thinking he's going to throw 2 or 3 or 2.5 innings and then be done, but doing a nice job of just grinding it out for the Rebels. And, you know, if they can get out of it here, he really saved a lot of arms on that pitching staff.
The 0-2 pitch. Up high. Maybe a little over anxious on that one as
That's
he
all right.
Uncorked it.
That's all right. Maybe trying to get him to chase and got away from him a little bit, but that's okay. Now you come back with the breaking ball in the dirt.
1-2 pitch on the way to German. Lamberty rocks and fires, and the breaking ball is up high as well. 2-2.
Now you rear back, you find your best pitch, and you give that one to him.
The 2-2. Breaking ball into left and hit well. Back goes Hammonds off the wall. The Eagles are still alive, and he's going to hustle for second base. German is safe. He dove in and made a great slide to the pitcher's mound side of the bag to keep himself alive, and he hesitated around first, and it nearly cost him. So there will be a pinch runner. It's going to be Jacob Wasik who comes in and pinch runs here for German. As you see, what a play by Hammonds to hustle this back in. And here's the slide, and clearly safe.
And some of the bench reacted from Totino that, like, maybe he, I don't know if they thought maybe he put that one over. They were, obviously they're excited he got a hit, but they almost reacted like he had just tied the game up too.
Corey Davis coming out to ask about this. Wants the umpires to get together here. We saw in the replay, he clearly was in there. But from the angle that Champlin Park had, I can see why they might be asking this question. And it's a pretty quick discussion between the umpires. So they're going to walk Radicek here and leave it up to Stika. Pardon me, it's not Stika because he's out of the game. It's going to be Kyle Gagnon, who has 12 at-bats all year long and 2 base hits. So Gagnon 2 for 12 on the year with 2 singles. He has driven in 1 run, and he comes up in the biggest at-bat of the year for the Eagles. We've seen it on the other side for Champlin Park, an unheralded player in Twingstrom come up big today. Can Gagnon do it on the other side? On the outside corner.
If you're the batter here, you gotta love this spot. No matter what you've done all year, this is a spot where you can really help your team and kind of become a hero. And it's a fun spot to be in and kind of nerve-wracking at the same time.
Lamberty looking for that same call, doesn't get it this time. 1-1. Left-handed hitter is Gagnon. Lamberty delivers. Popped up, might be playable. Twingstrom is over, and Champlin Park wins it 6-5. And how fitting that it goes to a guy in Twingstrom who came on, hadn't played much all year, and delivers 2 big base hits, and then records the final out.
It's just that's impressive, you know, and that's why baseball is fun to watch. You just never know who it's going to be. It might not be your top guy that's hitting 600 on the season and it's knocked in all the runs. It could be anybody, and he did a nice job at just staying within himself, even though he didn't have that many at bats all year or that many hits, and was big for the Rebels. An impressive win here by Champlin Park.
You saw the shot there of Tyler Gukeen. Speaking of big games. An RBI single to start a rally in the 6th, RBI double, I should say. An RBI single to tie the game in the 7th, and an RBI single in the 9th for the go-ahead run. And Champlin Park moves on. Their next game will be at 7 o'clock, 2 days from now at CHS Field. In the winner's bracket, they'll face the winner of Centennial and Mounds View. And on the other side, Totino-Grace goes into the elimination bracket. They will face the winner of Osseo and Spring Lake Park, a game that also squared off at 4 o'clock today. That will be at 2 o'clock on Friday from CHS Field. Well, that'll do it for us. What a ball game this was, as Champlin Park pulls the upset in dramatic fashion, 6-5 in 9 innings, erasing a 4-run deficit in the process. So for Aaron Hedrick and our entire wonderful CCX crew working long hours here on this Wednesday afternoon, I'm Charlie Beatty saying so long. Thanks for tuning in to CCX Sports.